Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever the case may be for you, and welcome to this IKoK Chat, the International Koalition of Krones. I'm Essence Ka, founder and one of the Krones of the IKoK. And I want to thank you for joining us, whether you're joining us live or in no time and no space for this most sacred work. We're truly honored. Thank you very much for joining us. I'd like to take this time to ask the other Krones to go ahead and introduce themselves and say hello. Ariane.
Hi, I'm Ariane. I'm from a much warmer place than the majority of the current participants. I'm in the far north of Queensland where it's really hot. We've hit the big wet, and so it's very wet, lots of rain as well. I am a holistic counsellor, meditation therapist, energy worker, and I am honoured to be here. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kobaha. I live in northern Arizona near Sedona. I'm an intuitive spiritual facilitator and crystal therapist. And again, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I'm very honored to. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Before we get started, I've got a couple of announcements that I want to make real quick. There's a lot going on. Most of you who follow my work probably know this or have heard, caught wind of it, but I'm getting ready to, at the end of this month, begin monthly classes and mentorship. I'll be doing these on the last Saturday of each month. I haven't decided exactly what time I'll be starting, probably somewhere between 7 and 8 p.m. my time. I'm in Central Time here in the US, so you would have to calculate that to wherever you live. There will be a minimal charge for these, $11 a month, but I'll be sending out a post, and I'll be posting it on my website where you can sign up, and I hope that you will join me in this. I really look forward to this. I know this will be an amazing time for us where we all can learn and grow together. The other thing I want to share is that a few months ago, of course, the IKoK, we're not even a year old yet. We actually started in May 7th, actually, of 2020 was our first chat. And shortly after, because of the response was so wonderful and still is, we started a Facebook group, but that group has now served its purpose. There's several members in it, and I will be posting in there, letting everyone know, but we're going to go ahead and close that group down. There doesn't seem to be a lot of interaction in there, and that just creates stagnant energy, and none of us need that for our growth. Now, with that stated, I will be creating a new, more than likely Facebook group, but some type of group where those who are taking the classes, where we can all interact all through the month and continue working together, so that it's not just that one time, once a month. And it's a possibility. This is still just a possibility that I might that will be a private group only for those taking the classes. But there's a possibility that I may create, it's been a while, it's a lot of work, but the reward's very worth it, may create another group later on. We'll just have to kind of ride with that one and let it see. Ariane, Kobaha, do either of you have any information or any notice that you want to share or anything about anything that's going on, whether it's, just where you're local or whatever you're doing? Yeah, go ahead, Ariane.
I just want to give you guys a quick peek as well, because I too am working on a course, very different to Essences. Mine is dealing more with the counselling side of things, dealing with fears and anxieties and things like that. Only just started, so there's no real details yet, but watch this space.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was muted. I said, Kabaha, was there anything you wanted to share?
Announce it. Next week, towards the end of next week, I'm going to launch my first website, and I'm very, very excited. So watch that space. I'm going to share a bit more about my work. I know I'm limited at the moment because of COVID and the pandemic, but yeah, I'm excited. So
Yay.
watch that space.
Awesome. Wonderful. Okay. Well, we've got a lot of ground to cover and some amazing work we want to do. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to take just a few moments this is where we spend a little time creating the energy space in which we do our work. We come together as a group, collective conscious mind here. And so I would like everyone to just take a few deep breaths and center themselves. Focus your energy, calm, relax, let go of the worries of the day. And I'm going to read a couple of the Metatronic numerology I am keyword phrases that are very much a part of the IKoK work. The first one is the 2266 dual frequency I am keyword phrase. We call this the heart of the IKoK. Now, if you'll just relax and allow the words and the energy to flow through you and over you, and focus in coming together. I am the master of divine balance. Through the remembrance of the singing of the sacred cosmic song of self, I ignite creation of new realities. I am that which rebalances and heals. The 655 dual frequency. We call this the star seed I am frequency. I am that which is aware of the responsibility of clearly hearing the voice of love. I am responsible for anchoring love's message of rebalancing within the collective field of humanity. I am starseed. Okay, thank you. Let's get going. This chat we want to talk about, it's the first of the new year, 2021. Right now I'm thinking about a meme that went around Facebook. The first 5 days, 2021 sort of went off smoothly. It came in pretty smooth and then got really bumpy really fast. And I remember seeing, I can't help it, I'm thinking of it right now. I remember seeing a meme saying something to the effect, and I can't pull it back verbatim, something to the effect of, hey, that first 5 days we had a good run. Thanks, 2021. But it's okay. That's what we want to talk about tonight, perspective. Because it did get bumpy real fast. Okay. And in all honesty, I don't think anybody was surprised, I don't think and especially those of us who've been, doing this work and looking at all this information over the last few months, we've known. As an example, let me pull my notes out here. Okay, right now, let me get back to that page. Oh, good grief. Don't you just love it? Okay, we're just going to go with it. All right, we know that in what was it? On December 21st of 2020, the dawning of the age of Aquarius have occurred. Wow. I mean, we were all blown away by that one. It wasn't that long ago. It wasn't even a month ago. And somehow it seems like it's been a decade ago, you know, in some ways. We also know that at the same time that was going on, what was it, in July of last year, 2020, we went into a collective dark night of the soul, directly related and a direct result of the 17.8 ATKI, the Atlantean technology karmic imbalance that has been brought to the surface. You know, I know when I was shown that that karmic imbalance, that collective karmic imbalance back, I want to say it was around 2014, you know, and I've shared this before. It was, you know, it was mentioned, you know, by Tutilaron, one of my guides. And it was kind of like, oh yeah, you know, yeah, everybody knows that. And then, you know, a little time went by and it was mentioned again. It's like, well, there that thing is again. And then a little more time. And it just kept coming around until by 2018, it was getting really serious. It was like, okay, we're going to have to deal with this. And then 2020 hit, end of 2019, and we're dealing with it. Okay. So we've got that going on. We've got, and that's related directly to what? In our work and in my work, the 777, we call it the 777 days of tears. Where, you know, we can look at a little bit of the detailed information on this. If you go back, if you're not familiar with all of this and you want to know more, if we don't get to it, go to their YouTube channel and look at the older chats. You will find all the information in more detail about everything that I'm mentioning here. We're also sitting within an energy field that started, I want to say, if I remember correctly, in maybe mid to late 2018, early 2019, something like that, known as the time of the testing of integrity. All right. We also know that the dawning of the age of Aquarius that occurred is, you know, in December, is something that, first of all, a lot of us, you know, we had just kind of, I'm going to say, almost kind of given up that it was going to happen in this lifetime, but everything came together and boom, there it was. Now, but remember what I've said before, and you can go back and listen to the chat we did for the dawning of the age of Aquarius, sharing all that information. As a matter of fact, I think that was the last one we did, if I remember correctly. It's the dawning of the age of Aquarius. It doesn't mean nirvana overnight. We've got a minimum of 200 years, okay, of what I have termed spiritual detox that's going to have to occur. Why am I sharing all of this? Because we want to look at perspectives tonight. We need to know the information. We need to know what's going on. And sometimes it can be a little overwhelming, okay, when you see all of these pieces separately, okay? You actually get a little bit better, I'm going to say, emotional relief is what, to me, is what I'm going to call it. When you understand the bigger picture and when you can come to terms with the fact that there's a lot of work to do, but that's why we're here in this lifetime. It's why we chose to reincarnate right now at this specific point in time. Are we going to see the end result of whatever we think the end result is in this lifetime? No. Are we going to come back? Yes. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but we are. Okay. We took this job on. Once again, I use this term a lot because it's where the confusion comes from. When we look at all of this information through the filter of the human mind, the filter of the human mind sees reality within a time frame of a single human lifetime. That's not what we're here to do. Yes, we have our sacred work in this lifetime. That's what we're here to do, here and now. Stay the course, know our work, know who we are, and realize it's a continuous journey. I'm going to, okay, I'm looking through my notes here. Just a second. Okay, we touched on the 777 days of tears. I'm not going to go into all the detail. If we're called to come back to that detail, I will. I will share this right now. I've shared this before in other chats, but this is that sort of perspective thing. Okay, that's what we're looking at here. And Kobaha and Ariane are going to share some information, each of them, that they have to bring to this evening. Okay, with the 777 days of tears, this started, the start date was July 22nd of 2020. The 777 days comes to an end, okay, on September 7th of 2022. But remember, that is only the peak of the collective dark night of the soul. All right, it doesn't mean it's over. That means that's when it peaks. There are three stages of this collective dark night of the soul up to the peak time that I want to share about right now. Once again, breathe deep, because this isn't the information that everybody wants to hear. Oh, everything's going to be wonderful tomorrow at 12:30. Well, everything is going to be wonderful tomorrow at 12:30 if your perspective's right. That's what we're talking about. Okay. But I want to give you this information. Okay. With this first stage, and what this is the 777 days divided equally into 3 by 3. Okay. So beginning July 22nd and running through April 7th. Now remember, nothing's set in stone. It's not a clock. Okay. These are general time frames. Okay, but this is how the human works. This gives us something to work with. All right, it's going to be hard. So we're in stage 1. We don't even finish stage 1 until the first part of April of this year. Okay, and this part's hard. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. Okay. Then stage 2 begins, and that's going to run from early April. Okay, the dates are for anyone who actually wants the actual dates. It's April 7th, 2021 through December 22nd, 2021. Okay, what I shared about that originally, from early to mid-April 2021 to the end of 2021 is going to be even more difficult in a bit of a different way in the physical realms. Many will feel physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually very tired and desire to want to give up. Give up and get some rest. The desire to give up and get some rest is going to be intense. And we're going to need to keep a close eye on ourselves and on each other. In other words, we're going to need support systems of like minds, if you will. And this goes, and here I'm talking about in this faction, we'll call it, of the collective. But this is the entire collective, whether they're spiritually awakened and believe like we do or anything else. Okay. So first part of April, things are going to intensify for the rest of the year. Then we're going to hit stage 3 in December of this year. Okay. So from about mid-December of 21 through September of 2022, when we peak, there's going to be this overwhelming sense of desperation and just wanting to quit. Okay. And this is just a sense of numbness. It's just going to be like, that's it, no more. But, and here's the spark of hope in that, though. It is actually that, as odd as it may sound, this sense of numb hopelessness that's going to be the trigger to ignite the spark of hope. That it's just might be possible that humanity will survive and actually come together and create a new reality that will lead to the light of a new day. Now, does this mean every day is going to be horrible? No. Does it mean that the entire collective has a journey to work through, some spiritual detoxing? It's starting now. Yes. It's our work, our energetic work to understand what's going on. Now, we're human. Allow yourself those days when it's overwhelming. It's okay. All right? But get up. Don't wallow in it. Allow. You're human. And then get up. You know, pull yourself up and let's go on. Remember what they say. The test of a true master is not that they never fall. It's how quickly they get back up. As a matter of fact, I'm going to read right here a message received on the 17th of December of last year. Excuse me. A master is one who has achieved a level of control over self that allows them to seek, know, and hear the answers from within self while under extreme duress. The field of vibrational frequency, known to your collective as the dawning of the Age of Aquarius, and into which your collective reality is just beginning to access, calls for this level of self-mastery to be attained and maintained by an unprecedented percentage portion of your species. And this percentage must be reached at a rate heretofore unknown and unexperienced by humanity of Earth. In other words, quickly. So that is simply saying, master, recognize yourself, wake up, get ready. You came here to do this work. Be ready to do it. You are in human form. Allow for those moments in time where the sense of overwhelm takes over, but do not wallow in it. Get up and get back to work. Okay. I think here, Ariane, I'm going to go and turn this over to you and let you share your part of what perspective, holding perspective, the correct perspective is about. Okay.
Okay. One of the things that I do as a holistic counselor is help people through exactly the feelings and emotions that people are experiencing nowadays with everything that's going on. So I have like a million notes and there's a lot of information. So I'm pretty much going to just read them and then I don't miss anything. So here we go. All right. So I mention it right at the beginning of just about every Krone chat that I'm a holistic counselor. But what does that mean? Well, basically, I'm not a psychologist and I'm not a psychiatrist. So I don't deal with people who have a diagnosed mental illness. What I do is I work for mental wellness. So I work with people who are struggling with overwhelm, depression, anxiety, chronic pain. The difference is a bit like having a strained ankle and not having a broken bone. Both are still injuries, they both hurt like mad, but the mode of recovery is a bit different. So what I'm wanting to talk about today is how we recover from the things, or how we get the process started to recover from the things that are happening to us at the moment. Okay, basically, it's fear. Everything boils down to a level of fear that pretty much no one has escaped for this last year. Of course, fear is nothing new to humanity. Throughout history, people have had to deal with war and illness and death. But for us in our modern day, current society, we sort of see it happening around the world, but we don't expect it to be in our backyard. We watch movies with all sorts of trauma and stuff going on, but we don't expect it to be in our reality. And that makes us feel threatened and fearful. Fear has been used as a means of control since absolutely forever. But the game ramped up at the end of the Second World War, all that time ago. And it happened with the advent of wider communications with TV and radio. And basically what happened is that humanity was launched on a training program, as the best way to describe it, and using those fears to encourage us to believe that absolutely everything that we are told has to be true because we're told it. And it's been a really clever form of training. It's encouraged us to strive to be the best that we can, while all the time telling us that we're just not good enough, that we're too fat, too thin, drive the wrong car, wear the wrong makeup, have the wrong colour hair. You know what I mean? It's there every which way you look, that if you don't have a certain product or have a certain thing in your life, you're really just not good enough. You're not up to the mark. We've been trained to live in a really low level of fight or flight response. And just to be clear, this is not conspiracy theory stuff. It's really well researched, well known, and even the study for my qualifications included the research and this particular topic in quite intensity. So how is all this relevant to what's happened in this last year? Well, we've been really swamped with advertisements, movies, and the reason that we have been is not necessarily to sell product. They're actually there to keep us in that really, really low level state of fight or flight response. It's a bit like a pot being kept on a really low simmer on the stove, just waiting for someone to turn it up. Well, the pot got turned up this last year and we all responded, obviously. So fight or flight, that's a survival mechanism. I'm sure most of you have heard about it, but it's not meant to run constantly, not even at very low levels. And it becomes very detrimental to both your physical and your mental health. So right now, as Essence was saying, we need to get as much information as we possibly can. And it's really important that we do start to gather information, because right now, we as individuals and collectives, and collectively, we're setting our intentions for the future. So this is really important information. So what I want to do is describe how fight or flight looks in current society. So first of all, in fight or flight, we have people who freeze. These are the guys that if there's a saber-toothed tiger walking down the street, they turn into a lamppost. They'd be telling themselves, I'm not going to respond to this so-called threat. There's no such thing as a saber-toothed tiger in my existence, so therefore it doesn't exist, and I'm going to carry on with my life and not believe. I'm just going to refuse that this is happening. Okay, that's the people who freeze. Then we have people who fight when they're in that fight or flight response. So they're the ones that have got the saber-toothed tiger on the nose. There's a lot of these going on in today's society. Think about it. Lots of protests, demonstrations, rallies. Okay. But it's not limited just to the people who physically go out into the street and demonstrate. Fight or flight, the people in fight mode can do it just as easily from that armchair nowadays on social media. And they cause a lot of drama and a lot of upset and things like that. And unfortunately, a lot of light workers and starseeds are the people who are coming through fight or flight in today's society with that particular response pattern. Then there are those who run away, okay, the flight part. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean that you physically run away. These are people who think that if they do everything right, they do exactly what they're told, obey the officials, someone will fix everything and it'll all be good. They run away from the responsibility, bury their heads in the sand and hope it'll all go away. So they're the main three types of characteristics that people will express when things get too much for them. So I want you to think about those reactions, those characteristics. What category do you fall into when the heat's turned up? It's an automatic thing. Okay, you don't have a lot of control. You will do one of the other of those. So do you freeze? Do you fight? Or do you hide? Me, I'm a run away from it all person. I'm not proud of it, but that's my initial reaction is, oh my God, I'm out here. I've buried my head in the sand for years, but I have had to wake up in this last 12 months or so, and I've come to understand that burying your head in the sand isn't going to fix the problem at all. Now, there are going to be people listening to this that think, wow, gosh, I'm really glad that's not affecting me. I'm not in any of those characteristic groups. Well, for those of you who are thinking that, I'm really sorry. But if you think you are not affected by what's going on in the world today, and that's not just the US, it's every country, if you think you're not affected, you are in denial. And that means you are either in the freeze group, who won't admit there's a problem in the first place, or the runaway group, where you see the problem all too well, but want someone else to fix it for you. And so what I'm going to ask of you guys is that you are completely honest with you, with yourself, completely. 100% hardcore honesty is needed. Because if you're not honest with yourself, this trauma, and it is traumatic, it's going to hit you at a later date, and it will hit you like a ton of bricks. And what will happen then is it'll actually be harder to heal from because it's been in your system for such a long time. And the big thing here is you as an individual healing yourself is how you go about working to heal the collective, each individual doing their part. So how do we go about doing this healing? Well, it's not going to be quick. As Essence said, we don't even peak in this dark night of the soul until September 2022. So it's not going to be quick. And there's going to be times when you struggle and you want to give up. And there's going to be times when you just want to lie down and hide for a while. And that is fine, just as Essence said, that is fine as long as you don't stay there. We are human. It's going to go in cycles, it's going to spiral. But what I will tell you is that this is a time when you are going to discover just how strong you can be. And you can be strong. And you'll discover just how determined you can be to do this. It's a beautiful time to discover those things about yourself. Okay, last little bit. Let's get practical. How do we deal with this? How do we work through this? Well, the first step is recognition, and I'm hoping that you're all on that little step already. You need to recognize, first of all, that there is an issue, that there is a problem, that you do get overwhelmed, anxious, stressed, however you're reacting. You need to recognize that a healing is going to be beneficial. Second step is decision. Once you've recognized that, hey, yeah, it's like everybody else on this planet, I do have a problem, you have to decide about what you're going to do about it. You have to decide that you're going to do the work that you need to do to get over it, to get through it. And the third step is determination. Because if you are not determined to go the whole way and do this work on yourself, even if it gets uncomfortable, then you're not going to get the results. But once you've got through those first three things, so the recognition, the decision, and the determination, that's the hardest bit. You've already made the biggest step. And from there on in, it's a matter of applying knowledge and staying the course. And to help you with that, I'm going to give you 8 pointers. These are tools I use when I'm working with people. I'm not going to go into all the whys and wherefores because we'll be here till the middle of next month, but I will let you know that I am working on that video series, and that'll help a lot. So first and foremost, the biggest tool in the toolkit is meditation. I'm a meditation therapist. I use meditation as a therapy to heal people. And it doesn't necessarily mean sitting down doing a formal meditation. It can be as simple as taking a deep breath when you need a few minutes space. Second in your toolbox, kindness. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Be kind to yourself, not necessarily by having a bubble bath, but that sounds real good. Acknowledge that you're human. You're going to stuff it up. You're going to need a break. You're going to burst into tears exactly when you don't want to. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself a break. Try to do at least one random act of kindness each day. Kindness to others. Number 3 is gratitude. We all know this one. Whenever anything is dark, do what I call flip it. Look for that little piece of bling somewhere that makes it brighter. That's the gratitude side of things. There is always something to be grateful for. For me, when I get right down to the bottom, the thing I am grateful for is a flushing toilet. All right, exercise, get out there, walk, swim, dance, do yoga, whatever, but get moving. Create. You need to get involved in something, learn something new, pick up a paintbrush, resurrect something that you started years ago and you've never finished, bake bread, get creative. Sleep. Goes without saying you need a good night's sleep. The second most important thing after meditation is to journal. Write stuff down. It gives you an outlet for your emotions. Every day. My students actually keep 2 journals, one's for the good stuff, one's for the bad stuff, so you don't cross the energy over. That's the second most important thing after meditation. And the final thing, which is also the hardest, already mentioned it, it's called review your point of view. Do the shadow work, do the mirror work on yourself. Look at the parts of you that are pulling you down, that are holding you back, that are stopping you achieving your potential. It's the hardest part of all. You have to be really honest with self. And it's something every single one of us will struggle with at some point, but review your point of view. All right, there's a lot of information there, so I do recommend that once this is up on YouTube, you come back and you listen to it a few times. Make a note of those points, those tools, and work out first how you are responding to today's happenings, because I guarantee you are. And once you've got that, you can start the work on healing self. Because through this work, through healing self, you are doing your part in healing the collective. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That was great information, you know, a lot of tools in that toolbox there that I hope people will look at, you know, when they need them. Okay, we're going to go right ahead, and Kabaha, go ahead and share your information if you don't mind, please.
Sure. Well, going back a few weeks back when we had our first chat with Oriane and Essence, about 2 nights chat, I remember Essence asked us how to best deal with that we are currently experiencing during these unprecedented times. And my first reaction was immediate: spiritual practice. I think going back to 2020, my spiritual practice, my experience gave me time to rebalance, giving me that opportunity to rebalance and stay very much centered. So tonight, I would like to share with you a few points, the importance of spiritual practice and the benefits. If you're someone who's thinking about starting actually in 2021, this is a good year, but I'm talking as well about people who want to renew or deepen their spiritual practice as well. So, as I mentioned, 2021 is partly about awakening to a higher power and dedicating ourselves to our spiritual path. This is a powerful year for laying the foundations and setting forth on a transformational journey that will unfold for many years to come. This is the year to make our spiritual path our priority. Dedicating ourselves to a regular spiritual practice, it's about making it a part of everything we do every day. What comes to your mind when you hear about personal development or improvement? It may be defined in different ways depending on how we look at it. The truth is that in order to achieve that perfect life, we need to balance the relationship between our mind, body, and soul. This can only be achieved if we also engage in some spiritual practice. There is a special way in which spirituality impacts the life of a person, and this is what makes it very important. There are different definitions of spirituality. All of them are correct. What works for one person may not work for another. At its core, spirituality is the desire to understand one's purpose, both about one's life and also the relationship with everything and everyone. It often leads to the belief or feeling that something bigger than ourselves is at work. I have found helpful to have some kind of ritual or spiritual practice that I can use. It brings me back to my center during the day. This is true, especially when I feel that something is not aligned within me and I find it difficult to connect to my higher self. I define spiritual practice as something I do every single day that draws me deeper into who I really am by connecting me with the divine self. The practice part means just that you do it daily over and over, but not in a gross way, but rather in a this is what makes me who I am way. But how on earth do you actually do it? Well, first you have to admit that your practice is essential and something you must do. Next, you must designate, carve out, and stick to the time for it, often letting go of something else in order to keep it alive. So let's talk about the importance of daily rituals. I can't emphasize enough the importance of daily rituals on our spiritual path, because the repetition of each ritual provides a focal point from distraction. Whatever they are, meditation, yoga, walk in nature, performing affirmations, setting intention, or practicing gratitude and forgiveness, they will bring us a stronger connection with Source, balance and transform our lives for the better on so many levels. Some of these rituals helped me for the past year to stay focused, go with the flow, and manifest a new chapter of my life. Every day we practice rituals. We brush our teeth, eat breakfast, watch our favorite TV program. We do them with ease and often without much thought. Spiritual rituals hold more meaning. It's important for our spiritual health and overall happiness to engage in some on a regular basis. What can become a spiritual ritual may surprise you and may be something you are already doing. Whatever it is, you are bringing consciousness to it, which allows you to turn inward and reflect. These rituals can be personally meaningful, whether performed alone or with others. So I'm going to give you a few examples here. For example, enjoy a hobby. Hobbies, dance, poetry, drawing, writing, singing, cooking, gardening are personal. And when you make time for an activity that means something to you, it fills your soul. Exercise. Remember, there is no separation between the physical and the spiritual. Though moving your body is certainly something you do for your physical health, it can also be a spiritual practice. Often, exercise can be a vehicle to help calm and still the mind, which allows us to be in the present moment. Perform affirmations. Affirmations, whether written down or said aloud, are a daily reminder to yourself that you are moving in the direction you want to move in, or that you are becoming the person you want to be. Breathe mindfully. Taking a few minutes each day to breathe with purpose is one of the simplest rituals you can include in your life. Mindful breathing increases your awareness and brings you into the moment, allowing you to focus on you. Embrace nature. Spending time outdoors and observing your surroundings can help you feel connected to the larger world around you. Just sitting outdoors and taking in all the colors, smells and sounds can provide comfort, increase your energy and mood, and reduce stress. Set intentions, whether it's daily or weekly. Reflecting on our intention helps us to go through life with consciousness. It allows us to think about what we want to work on and what we hope to achieve in order to maintain spiritual health. Now, practice gratitude and forgiveness is another important one, particularly in times of stress or difficulty. Practicing gratitude can be helpful. Focusing on the positive helps ease worry and pain and brings forth sense of well-being. Practicing forgiveness is a similar ritual. Take an honest assessment of what happened during the day, and if something doesn't feel right, find forgiveness so you don't carry it with you. These practices are great end-of-day rituals that require you to reflect internally. Now, finally, that's one common one, but hey, meditate. If you are committed to meditation practice, even for just 5 minutes per day, you can bring yourself into balance. It's about connecting with something larger than yourself. Now, let's talk about the benefits of having a spiritual practice. First of all, concentrating on your purpose. Regularly checking our purpose, our motivation, helps staying on track with what is really important without all the distraction that may take us away from it. It may be creating a purpose for a specific period or aspect of life, or it may be discovering what our purpose actually is, allowing the time and space for it to become more clear and present. Now, number 2, feeling more inspired. A daily time set aside at the beginning of the day for meditation, for reading an inspiring quote, help us to set the tone for the day, bringing hope and inspirations in our lives. Number 3, letting go of unhelpful patterns. A moment of reflection at the end of the day helps to take stock. What were our challenges? How did you deal with them? What could have been better? What do you need to let go of? Can you decide to try something different next time? Removing our unhelpful habits brings us to our wholeness. Number 4, a good one, finding joy. Joy brings meaning to our lives, which can lead us to greater happiness. What can we be happy about and rejoice in? What did we do well today? Celebrating our strength is very important and counteracts any guilt or low self-esteem. It brings us joy and helps us to achieve what we want in our lives. Now, number 5, remaining in our center. Being aware of our thoughts, our words, and our actions during the day, as each one of them has an effect. This can be practiced anywhere, anytime, while washing your dishes, responding to an email, driving the car, meeting a colleague, etc. It brings a more realistic perspective in our life, being centered and fully present in the moment. Number 6, feel more gratitude. Life moves pretty fast. If we don't stop and look around once in a while, we could miss it. It can be easy to get swept away in the fast lane and forget to stop and show our appreciation of what we do have. A life well lived is one of gratitude and thankfulness. Now, the last one, very important one, the health benefits. In addition to providing meaning to our lives, a spiritual practice has the potential to improve physical, mental, and spiritual and emotional well-being. We can't separate the physical from the spiritual, as I mentioned early on. You will get a stronger immune system, stress reductions, and better sleep. At this time, I can't imagine my life without a spiritual practice anymore. The deepening of my spiritual practice has helped me beyond imagination in all aspects of life. Everyday rituals can bring comfort, create better lifestyle habits, uncover a deeper purpose, and increase our spiritual development. So basically, with the spiritual practice, I think we are better equipped to deal with these, I would call them challenging energies. Here we go. Essence, over to you.
Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful information. Thank you so much. I appreciate all that. I want to, we're getting close to moving into the work we want to do this evening. I'm going to lead you all through a specific meditation here in just a few minutes that I truly believe has the potential to be a big tool in your toolbox. Let's just say it that way, referencing Ariane there, what she was talking about, the tools and even the tools that Kabaha just mentioned in assisting you personally in your growth, your personal growth, and the expansion of your consciousness and your knowledge and your learning in this year. That is the desire and the hope. It's something that can look back on and reference all year long. Before I do that, I've got so much more information, but honestly, I think I'm going to have to do probably another video to get deep into a lot of information that I wanted to share, because I really feel that this meditation that we're going to do is that important. I don't want to take time away from it. But I do want to share a couple of things. I want to share that those who follow my work and the work of the IKoK are probably pretty familiar with the fact that 2020, the year humanity goes galactic. We talked about that pretty much all last year through all the chats. What that means, you can go back to that. And that brings us forward to 2021. And with 2021, I said that 2021 is the year of mastering sound cymatics. Okay, so we're looking here at consciously and intentionally using sound to create reality. That's going to be major this year. We will be talking about this a lot this year and working with it. But I want to share just a couple of things very quickly on that. One of them I have actually read to you before. It was a message that I received when I first received the information about 2021 being the year of mastering sound cymatics. Mastering the sounds. Okay, this is step one. And this is actually related to this age of NeoGnosis that I've mentioned. And this is what I'll touch on that for a moment, and then we're going to move into our meditation. These are the things that I'm going to have to do another video on to share more information about. But mastering sound cymatics, the first step is mastering the sounds in your mind. It's the first step to mastering sound cymatics. For the sounds in your mind, create the sacred geometric forms emitted from your mind and your heart. This in turn affects the energy flowing through your root and sacral energy centers, your base energy centers used in the creation of the foundation of physical reality. We humans, okay, are a sacred spiritual biological form, a sacred tool of creation. This is very much connected to the knowledge that you cannot separate the physical from the spiritual. We'll be going deeper into this in the year. The next thing of sound cymatics I want to share. We, humanity, must come. This is how important sound is, okay? It is said that Ptah sang reality into existence. Reality, our reality, all reality is created through the use of sound and light. We, humanity, must come to understand just exactly how important sound is to the creation process of reality, our reality, all reality. More than any other way, we are destroying ourselves through the misuse, the unconscious use of sound. Sound is vibration, vibration that becomes frequency, frequency that becomes energy. And it is this energy that is the energy that creates form, physical form, all physical form. And I'm not just talking about physical form of Earth. We are damaging our reality at the energetic cellular level. In other words, we are damaging the very atoms, indeed the very quarks that coalesce and bind to manifest all physical forms in reality. And this is not just speaking of the human form. This is speaking of all form, all physical forms of every kind, forms we do not even yet know exist from within our human reality experience. Indeed, all form in this universe. And the last sentence that I was given, received, heard, however you want to say it, in receiving this message, we are hearing the rumblings of the machines of destruction. We have to come in to the knowledge and the proper use of sound. We have to master sound cymatics. Okay, and anyone that is familiar at all with cymatics understands that cymatic sound, vibration, frequency, that's sound, okay, creates sacred geometric forms. Okay, you can go to YouTube and find a bazillion videos of different forms, sacred geometric forms being created with different sounds. And you can watch the harmonious sounds create beautiful forms, and the disharmonious sounds create chaos. No form. There is no form. There is no structure. This is what we're doing. This is the rumbling of the machines of destruction. This is what we have to come to understand. The age of NeoGnosis, I'm going to just touch on it. I will do, it may be a few days. There's a lot going on in my everyday world, but I will do another video sharing more information. Remember the dawning of the age of Aquarius. All right. We know that that just transpired. We're not even a month in to it. Okay. We know that the first, and this is all simply stated, but just to give us a perspective, a view, a visual, if you will, a perspective to work from. Okay. The first 200 years of the dawning of the age of Aquarius. This is not like the full opening. Okay. If you think about just even our day on Earth, okay, we have dawn, and then we have the full light of day, and then we have dusk, and then we have night. We are in the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Okay, dawn. There is no full light yet. There's a lot of work to do. We have a minimum of 200 years of spiritual detox as a collective to move through. Now, don't let that overwhelm you. Understand that you are the masters that came here now because you have the capability. You innately within possess the knowledge and the wisdom to be a part of this. The age of NeoGnosis is the first stage, if you will, the first steps into the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Neo is a Greek word meaning new. Genesis is a Greek word meaning knowledge and wisdom, but not mundane knowledge. Here we're talking gnosis, okay? I keep saying NeoGnosis. My apologies. I don't know why I have done that. Let's back up. My bad. Erase all of that. It is not NeoGnosis. It is NeoGnosis. Okay, I apologize. And I've been doing that. I've been writing gnosis, but saying Genesis. And I understand what that is because the Genesis is the new birth. All right. So new birth, but we are in the NeoGnosis, okay? The age of NeoGnosis, Greek meaning knowledge and wisdom, but not mundane knowledge. Gnosis refers to sacred knowledge and the wisdom with which to act upon this knowledge properly. So with us having this opportunity, okay, to begin stepping into and working with this age of NeoGnosis, everything that has been talked about here this evening by the other two Krones are so relevant to what is required to work within the age of NeoGnosis. Because we're being offered the opportunity to spiritually mature. But to do so, we've got to get focused. It's got to become a priority. It's got to be constant and continual. It's got to be the number one priority. Now, that doesn't mean you don't take responsibility for the rest of your life, okay? Your everyday life I'm talking about. Even as you are studying, okay, you're still scrubbing toilets, you're still washing dishes, you're still mowing the lawn, you're still running the kids here and there, you're still going to work. But this stays top priority. Conscious living, mindfulness in every moment. Mindfulness when you have a meltdown. Mindfulness adds when you, as I call it, when I fall off my Zen, because believe me, I do. Okay. But I'm like, whoa, I just fell off my Zen. Let's go. Come on. Ain't got time for that. Ask the other two Krones how I talk to my grandbaby. Ain't got time for that. Come on, let's go. I'm talking to me too. All right. The age of NeoGnosis is a specific memory point on the fabric of space-time, just like the dawning of the age of Aquarius, where humanity begins moving into the study and learning of knowledge and beliefs of advanced, ancient, future knowledge and wisdom of humanity's real nature as divine beings, and then implementing this knowledge and wisdom into humanity's collective conscious mind and reality. It is a time where the study and belief in truth, knowledge, and wisdom leads to the implementing of the deliverance of the divine spark within humanity from out of the constraints of earthbound existence begins and expands exponentially throughout the collective mind of humanity. Remember, knowledge is the gathering and the knowing of information. That's what we did in 2020. Wisdom is correctly implementing the knowledge gathered into life through proper action. No more excuses. It's time to step up and take responsibility for the reality that we are creating collectively. Because if we do not, well, if we do not, we do not. Okay, we will talk more about that in another video and share information on that. So now, unless either of the other two Krones has anything they want to add right here, or anyone have a comment or anything, if you do, let's please make it quick, simply because we want to move on to the meditation work that we came to do this evening. Okay. I'm going to take a moment to let everyone know that we're going to be going in search of information, okay, in this meditation. Personal information relevant to you for your use in your life, period, but especially in this coming year in moving forward in your study. Everything I just talked about in the NeoGnosis, the Age of NeoGnosis, okay? Beginning that study. Now, with that stated, I know that some people are a little uncomfortable with, maybe clearly hearing messages come through, or just prefer working in a different fashion than just simply relying on hearing. This is where, if you use cards, runes, anything, any sacred tool such as that, I would ask that we're going to center ourselves in just a moment. And once we center and get into the energy field for this work, I'm going to ask those who want to use cards or whatever they're using to shuffle their deck, choose one card, face down. Do not look at it, because I want you to have the opportunity to hear if you can relax enough to allow that to happen. If not, then the card is like your confirmation, let's just say, okay? It is another way of receiving information. Either way is fine. There is no judgment. There is no one is better than the other. They're simply tools. So with that stated, I'd like everyone to get into a comfortable position, begin relaxing. Take a deep breath. Exhale slowly. And another deep breath. And exhale slowly. I'm going to use sacred sound to help us create the energy field within which we're going to go in search of the information to the question that we are going to ask this evening. While I am doing that, I would ask for any that are using cards or any other tool now, take that time to draw your card and lay it face down. And another deep breath and relax. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Ang Namo Gurudev Namo. Ang Namo Gurudev Namo. Sat Nam. Please breathe into and focus your breath into your heart area. Allow it to feel and expand your heart chakra area. Breathe in. Slowly breathe out, relaxing and feeling the energy within your heart chakra. And this next breath in, I want you to breathe in and visualize your breath rising from the heart chakra up into the third eye. Breathe in. Breathe out through the third eye. Breathe in through the third eye. Up and out through the crown. You have now access to your higher self and your spiritual guides. And take another deep breath. Relax and breathe out slowly. Breathe in. Prepare to ask your question and listen for your answer. The question is, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? While still remaining in these energies, please open your eyes ever so slightly. Retrieve your note-taking devices, whatever that may be, and write down any information, any words, who am I? If you drew a card or used another tool and you feel you would like to reference that, please do so now and finish your note-taking. I'd like to share with everyone that the other two Krones and I did this meditation this past week. And we would now like to share with you the message that we received, each of us individually. Now remember, these are the information you received is for you personally. But in the sharing, we hope that maybe a confirmation for someone else. It's just the connection. Kabaha.
Yes, that was a very interesting experience, actually. I decided to do the meditation when I was actually taking a shower, having a shower, because it's quite often when messages from my higher self are coming, and oh boy, they did. The first message I got was about you are a communicator, which I knew already. Communicating is a big part of my life in general and in my work. But what they did, and when I'm talking there, my spirit guides, my higher self, they showed me a picture, like an image, with two pictures inside. The first picture was a notepad with notes. And the second picture, sorry about my voice, I'm losing my voice tonight. And you're going to laugh because one of the messages is about using my voice. So that's quite interesting. I'm losing my voice, literally. But anyway, going back, first picture was basically the notepad with the notes. Second picture within the image was a picture of my larynx, my voice box. And I noticed underneath, there was 50% underneath each picture. And I suddenly realized, oh yeah, I understand the message. Basically my higher self saying, well, you should be working more on using your voice as a tool, okay? And then I had another message confirming that. They were trying to explain to me that speech is my strongest form of communication. And I know at the moment I love writing. So my way of communicating in general is typing messages, my daily cards, or doing a blog. I'm writing, okay? And the way they explain it to me is that people, through hearing my voice and messages, that in some ways, in some cases, would bring healing subconsciously for some people. Yes, Essence?
Mastering of sound cymatics, you're actually creating sacred geometric forms and releasing them.
Exactly. But how interesting is that? When I heard that, I'm thinking that makes sense. You use your voice, combination of your voice with a specific message, and that can create something quite amazing. So yes, basically what Spirit was telling me is that my voice is an important vehicle to self-expression. So I need to work more on that. Second message I got, and I think I had the confirmation, it's very much connected to the first message. I heard, you are an innovator. And first of all, I thought, what the heck that means? I had no clue. I didn't understand because I'm not planning on inventing something. But what I heard is basically the Spirit is asking me to be more authentic and imaginative in my approach to convey messages. Okay, that was the first message, the message I got there. The second message I got about innovation was about questioning, reassessing my beliefs about spirituality in general. And I know for a fact, since last year, 2020 has been a year where more and more I've noticed that the New Age movement, basically, the resonance is no longer there on many levels. So it's almost like Spirit say, okay, you need to basically question it. If you feel that you have to change your approach to spirituality in your work, for example, I'm encouraged to basically approach spirituality by sharing knowledge and wisdom in a more unconventional way. So that's the message I got. The other thing, it was like a warning sign, but not negative. And I understand why, because I know how I react normally. Sorry about the voice. Oh God, my voice, I'm losing it. It's just unbelievable. Basically, they said to me that in your future, I'm going to have opportunities, offers, okay, where first of all, I'm going to think, I'm not sure, I'm not quite ready, or I can't see this project to really work as such. And the message from Spirit was, think twice about it. Take your time, don't rush it. Anyway, your intuition, your gut feeling will tell you if it's right. And in some ways, they almost said to me, some of the opportunities I'm going to have may have such an impact in my work, they could become my main work. So they're basically warning me not to take decision too quickly and say, oh, no, I'm not quite ready. Okay. But what I have to explain to you quite quickly, I realized the two messages had a connection is because the following day, I did the meditation. I do my daily walks every day and I'm seeing, the same people. And I saw those two ladies and we started talking about COVID, about masks. And, those two ladies, they have two different energies, two different approach about the pandemic. And I started talking about how I felt about it. And I said, ladies, you need to look at different perspective as well. And use your discernment and common sense as well, more and more. Anyway, we had a chat for 10 minutes. And one of the ladies jokingly said to me, how much we owe you for the advice? And I laughed and I said, nothing. And I said, that's my work anyway. And one of the ladies I know quite well, and I'm very close to her, she looked at me and she said, you know what, Freddie, you would be an awesome motivational speaker. Of which I smiled, and I didn't think much about it. Then I carry on walking, and I suddenly realized, here we go. Spirit wanted to show me what they basically conveyed the previous day during that meditation. Look, the impact you can have on people. Even one of the ladies saw the potential. So here we go. That's the information I got during that meditation.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. I wanted to, sounds like, I mean, I can see, knowing you the way that I know you, let's just say it that way, I can see how that information can help you move forward this year, if that makes sense. I also want to mention here, because like I said, we've kind of run out of time, and I'll be doing more talk, because I talked to a couple of people that are actually here live this evening with us about talking more about, and I'm mentioning now because Kabaha really kind of mentioned it in her, what she was telling her in her message about, you know, Spirit saying the new age, quote unquote, spiritually awakened consciousness expansion community, and where it's at, to look at the belief system, basically look at your belief system. And of course, Navari told us, I don't know what, a few months ago, you know, we need to almost daily be reevaluating our belief systems right now. But that is related specifically to, believe it or not, even the dawning of the age of Aquarius, this opening of the age of NeoGnosis. Because right now, this belief system, this faction of the collective, the spiritually awakened community, as we call it, is actually imploding upon itself. I've even talked about this some in past chats. I don't remember what chat it was, but I know that I've mentioned before in some chat, we talked about the fact that the shadow side forces of light told us back in the 80s, 90s, that we're going to take you down, and we're going to take you down using your own information. Well, that's what we're seeing. But the thing about it is, what we need to understand, this is happening not just here. Okay. And this is what I heard. I had and the person who I had conversation with earlier knows who they are and what I'm talking about here. In thinking about that conversation, it was a very short conversation online, and it's only logical, really, that this would transpire now, that this belief system is imploding upon itself, because that's what's happening in the entire collective reality. We are a part of that reality. We're not separate from it. We're not special. We're not above it. Okay. This is a natural part of the growth journey process of this belief system. When something has served its purpose, you don't hold on to it, because if you do, you stagnate. Okay. With that shared, now, Ariane, I'll ask you to share your message that you got.
Sure. This particular meditation is very familiar to me. I've been actually doing this several times over the last few years, because I have been undergoing a full metamorphosis, making so many changes in myself that eventually I took on a totally different name. And the first time I did ask this question, who am I received information, and on several other journeys asking that question. And when I did the meditation the other day, basically I got confirmation that the information I'd received previously was exactly who I am. And who am I? I am Ariane. That was it, top and bottom. I was not born Ariane. I've had 3 different names through marriage and divorce and things like that. But just 12 months ago, and it was actually 12 months ago last week, I decided to take on the name that I had been given by Spirit. I had been in that meditation, who am I? And I had been in touch with my master guide, and my master guide sent me on a journey to discover who I was. I'm not going into all those details, it's long and involved, but basically I came back and I knew exactly who I am. I knew my sacred contractual work. I knew what direction I'm traveling in. And I felt strong in that knowledge. It was very enabling. And the name, that's my starseed name, Essence. You.
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna put you on the spot. I have
Go on.
no, I have a question in that you were saying for you what came through, but like I said, we're sharing this in the hopes of being of, benefiting and helping others, right? So my question is, you said for you got confirmation about past information. Okay, so how would you say you see that sitting here right now, and it could change 180 degrees from here, a week from now, 6 months from now. But sitting here right now, how would you say that confirmation is like something that is going to be a really big tool for you in this year's journey of your personal growth?
Yeah. In this year's journey of my personal growth, I am expecting a lot of things in the physical world that will deeply impact on my spiritual world to occur. Now, they may actually occur physically, or they may occur metaphysically. At this point, I don't know. But I know that this is part of my sacred contractual work, and receiving this confirmation, that was it. It just made me feel strong in myself, more centered, more balanced, more confirmed that I am on the path that I was told to go on. That path started 2017. We went in the Dragon's Gate, was it the first time? Yeah, 2017. And I mentioned it a little while ago, I think, where thought I was going home, but no, I've got new work. So over this period of time since then, I have been gradually moving into what this new work is going to be, and being given information, being sent on a journey and being given information to find out who I am, and coming back knowing the same way that I know I'm human and I have a right arm, that I'm starseed, and knowing that my name is Ariane, and knowing that my family name is Lay, knowing that into every single cell of my body, that is my original name, has been really, it's just the most amazing feeling, having that confirmation. And basically that's it. There's more to it, but that's basically it. It's confirmation of the biggest knowledge I've received in my life. As I say, I've done this about 3 or 4 times now, and the first couple of times there was a lot of information came through in just like a single phrase. But then over time, that phrase, I've become more aware of what it actually meant and the deeper implications. So if you guys doing this have just come out of it with a word or a phrase, just write it down, sit on it, let it develop, and it will eventually come to mean, to give you more knowledge, a wider base. So that was me, confirmation, and it really helps because I'm in a tricky time at the moment, and having that to hang on to is really empowering. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, this has been amazing. I'm going to share the message that I received here in just a moment. But before I do, because we're getting toward the end, we're actually going to end. And we always end these chats on the sound of silence. And I will read my message that I received, and then we will simply move out in sound of silence to finish this chat. I do want to let everyone know that we do an after chat. So if you want to stay on, and after we finish recording and we visit, and you can share your information that you received if you'd like to, ask other questions, and it's just the after chat. And we always have a really good time doing it. So with that stated, I'm going to ask the other 2 Krones if they'll just go ahead and say their goodbyes now, and then we'll move on out after I read this.
So farewell from sunny, damp North Queensland. Actually, the sun's shining at the moment, which is lovely, but it's been an amazing journey today. I hope that you received some valuable knowledge and information and that you can take it forward into helping you survive these times. Farewell, see you next time.
Well, thank you again for joining us. It was again an amazing night, and I really hope, as Oriane mentioned it, you got some information that's going to help you to move forward in 2021. Good night.
Okay. I jumped the gun there just a little bit. Kabaha, did you do what we talked about? I almost forgot. I apologize.
I'm sending you messages.
Oh, well, okay. It came through. I'm going to, before, my bad. That's two bads. Oh my, tonight. What I want Kabaha is going to share when we got ready to go into the meditation. I asked her before the program if she would pull a card for this group collective conscious mind. In other words, asking, who am I? So this is like IKoK energy. So if you would share that.
Okay, I actually, well, 2 cards came out. So it's not one, it's 2. It's from the Starseed Oracle deck. I don't know the cards, so I'm going to discover them with you. Oh, wow. Ooh, I've got shivers. Okay, first card. Oh, wow, I can't believe it. Double mission. I'm losing my voice again, sorry guys. Lightworker Starseed, serve the world by being you. Look at that.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Wait. You're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness, face your true north. I mean, come on. So just as a reminder, what I'm getting for this card is, well, yes, not only, serve the world by being you. So not trying to be someone else. You need to find your purpose. I can hear it, the purpose side. It's almost like Spirit is encouraging you to be your true self, to find your power, to come out of the spiritual closet when you're ready. And the other card is very much like, you need to understand you're not going to please everyone, okay? Don't waste any time trying to share your spiritual knowledge and wisdom. Sorry, Essence, yeah.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to add, I'm hearing with that.
Go ahead.
I'm just hearing with that card there, what you were just saying, you're not here to save the world.
No, you're not here to save the world. That's a good point. Absolutely. And you're not everyone is going to resonate with your work. So don't waste your time trying to convince people regarding the knowledge and wisdom you want to share with. Just stick to your path. Stand tall. Stand in your power. And there is another message I'm getting there actually, is be proud to be different. And I'm going to leave it there.
Oh, well, I'm the queen of being proud of being different.
It's true. That's what I'm getting. Just go for it. Just go for it.
I love it. Thank you very much. And I hope that message alone benefits a lot of people. Okay, so with that, now I'm almost positive that's the last of it, other than reading a message that I wanted to read and share with everyone. So I'm going to ask that everyone go ahead and mute again, because we will be leaving, like I said, the chat and ending on the sound of silence. Please bring yourself back into center, into that meditative energy to hear this message, please, once again, because even though this was my personal message and is my personal message, this is also a message for all humanity. I'll be honest, when I received the instructions, let's just say, to do this meditation, for myself, I was like, I started to blow it off. I'm like, oh yeah, right. Then, yeah. It's like I could hear it all over in my head. You're like, yeah, I'm essence, yada, 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 And then I got, as I explained to the other Krones when I was telling them about it that day, I got the look, from my higher self and my gut. That look your mother gives you? That one, yeah. And I was like, okay, fine. I'm glad I listened. Okay, here we go. Now bring yourself to center, please. So like I said, even though this is my personal message, this is also a message for all humanity because we are one. Who am I? I am consciousness. I am knowledge shared and wisdom gained. I am forgetfulness and remembrance. I am cause and effect. I am reason and logic. I am emotion and eternal movement. I am come to teach, to learn, to experience, and to rest. I am the whole of the eternal self, just as I am a fractal portion of the eternal self. I am consciousness, mind, form, and soul. I am infinity in form. I am self-eternal. I am all and nothing. I am life eternally and infinitely experiencing life. I am the voice of the cosmos. I am I. And then the message continued. Realms, realities, dimensions, planes of existence, all the terms you use to try and define and make distinction of your existence are but individual thought concepts of the universal mind. Each an energetic, biological cell in the body of consciousness of infinity and eternity. Even what you as human perceive and think of as an entire infinite and eternal universe is but as a single cell organism, as was the original precursor to your life on earth that eventually evolved into your current human form and consciousness. Here, some humans would interject. Humanity, biological humans, were or are the result of biological genetic manipulation of an intelligently advanced species. To that we respond. Matters not if that is so or not. Matters not if you are the current result stage of Darwinism evolutionary processes. The result is still the same. Your belief in what process and or even the process that truly did create you as the current species you exist as is actually irrelevant in the bigger, more expanded understanding of who you are. All that belief or truth is but a piece of the infinite and eternal consciousness, the infinite and eternal consciousness which seeks only to expand its knowledge of self. This is who you are. Kara unche prana. I am the ancient future breath of life. Kara unche prana. Kara unche prana. Kara unche prana.